Hey everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Baseless Speculation, or the pop culture news and the research so you don't have to. I'm Joel.
I'm Jackson.
And I'm Joel.
Now boys, what do we think is going to happen in Fantastic Four First Steps?
Today that we forgot to do an episode about this.
Hilariously, we're like, what are we going to do an episode? We're like, are there weapons, the new horror movies coming out? What else is there? Like Peacemaker Season 2.
Together.
Yeah.
I mean, I can pretend I haven't seen it, but I've seen it. I might wreck the movie.
Yeah. And then we were like, wait, have we ever done a Fantastic Four episode?
And then
we're
we
like,
all sat around for an hour and a half going, we've done Fantastic Four.
Why would we have missed that?
We've talked about it, I think.
It's come up. That's basically doing an episode. And then we were scrolling through and we were like, oh no, we never did.
Yeah.
So now, hey, we've watched all the trailers.
Yep.
We're ready to
Which
talk
also,
about it.
when we were watching the trailers, I realized that I had not seen the last trailer.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
So-
Actually, I realized I hadn't seen two of those trailers.
Yep. I reckon I'd seen the first one a couple of the teaser trailer that was, very exciting when it happened.
Yeah.
I'd seen that a couple of times.
Yeah.
Then the second trailer, the actual trailer, I don't know if I'd seen the whole thing, but I had definitely seen 2/3 of it.
Yeah.
And then the last trailer, brand new.
Yeah, brand new stuff for us.
Galactus is there for real?
Yes,
Nice.
dude.
Crazy.
They see Galactus as like wherever he is, his ship, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I
The
know-
size of Galactus is confusing me, but we'll get to that. Yes, Jackson. Cool face.
Thank you. I know that the
Looks like
footage
you
of
ate a
him
fucking
walking
lemon.
through. Huh?
It looked like you're eating a fucking lemon.
The footage of him walking.
If I ate a lemon, I'd just be like this.
The footage
I
of
love
him
lemons.
walking.
Fine.
I've lost it. Anyway,
I love lemon.
Okay.
Yeah, dude. People
I'm
like
not
this.
even crying because I
Yeah.
love eating lemons. That would be my face.
So
What about lime?
Give me another
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, I
I
love
want to say,
sucking
yeah,
lemons.
it's great. 2 minutes of all, you lost control. It's good shit.
Yeah.
Good shit. Anyway, back to lemon.
We haven't
Lemon
even
eting
addressed the
I'm
competition.
aware. Yeah. No,
We
we're
haven't
not
even
even addressed what happened. We addressed.
that you were real excited. You were like, ready? Let's hit record.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to this. Where'd your energy go?
My energy. What energy? What?
You had
I
energy.
didn't. That's a filthy lie.
I think we should do a lemon eating competition, boys.
But you'll win because you love lemons.
I will win. That's why I'm trying
Do you
to
like
set it
hot
up.
lemon?
Yeah, dude, the hot lemon
fucking
challenge is a
tight.
famous challenge started by me, okay?
Oh, yeah, that's right. You eat a hot lemon.
It's the
That's right, because it was in the soup that you
The
made.
challenge
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
can you eat a hot lemon? And the answer is, yeah, probably.
Do you want to damn it? Eat this hot lemon? No, I'm gonna do
I'm
it.
gonna do it. I'm gonna eat a hot lemon.
don't
Oh, that
care.
was hot and sour.
That's right, because the hot lemon you were really excited to eat because you reckon it was going to be... You were trying to get us to dare you to eat it, but in the
Yeah.
back of your head you were like, this is going to be a really nice lemon, but then it was a bit too hot.
Yeah, well,
I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna
I'm
do it.
gonna do it.
I
Eat a
don't
hot
care if they
lemon.
say I'm not.
yeah, dude, it's a good challenge.
So Galactus, when he's walking.
So,
Oh, well, that's already too far ahead. We got to go. You want to do the episode? You yelling at us about getting distracted? You want to start with Galactus?
He was in the middle of a fucking sentence.
I think I was in the middle of the sentence.
Which time?
Don't worry about it.
You were like, Galactus, I'll get back to, and then you never went back to. I'll address that later.
Yeah.
Jackson started talking about Galactus walking. You're like, your face looks like a lemon, and that was it. We're gone.
Off to the races.
Where are they off to? Off to
I
the
think
shops to buy some fucking lemons, I guess.
Yeah, for the hot lemon gel.
Any podcast we do starts with one interrupted thought that is never returned to.
No.
It's a cascade of interrupted thoughts.
You got to understand that it's an interrupted thought,
Yeah.
but that thought's already too late. Like, every baseless speculation will watch the trailers.
Yeah.
A normal podcast or like a YouTube or whatever will be like,
Yeah.
hey, Fantastic Four First Step. It's coming out in June,
Yeah.
July.
Oh, yeah.
It's coming out in July, and it's the
Who wants to hear that
No,
bullshit?
but wait.
Yeah.
Because it'd be like, or it'd be like, hey, Fantastic Four dropped a new trailer, or hey, the movie's coming out, and then it'd be like, Fantastic Four movie, it's the something. Like there'll be some where we're like,
Preamble, no,
hey,
not for us.
Galactus.
Yeah, don't fucking don't infantize me here to be like,
not
a new trailer dropped. I fucking know. Or it's coming out. I fucking know.
Yeah,
Did you know a new trailer had dropped?
Yeah, I just didn't want to watch it.
Didn't see
I'm
it,
fucking
dude.
tired all the time. Where's my? You want my energy? Here it is.
Yeah,
is
there
this
we
good?
go. Yeah.
Fuck
That's
you.
what we were waiting
Okay,
for.
fine.
I'm finally happy now.
We crashed from sleepy to being like fucking annoyed.
Yeah, there's no
All right,
middle ground.
Okay, here we go. What do you want to know?
I just think that it's funny that none of our podcasts start with the start.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was all I was
I
saying.
don't think we should start with the start.
Yeah,
I think
let's
like,
start with the. Hey, let's start with
Okay.
the end of the second trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, Galactus. Anyway, what were we saying about Galactus?
I think it's all practical effects. Him walking through the city is allegedly. That's what I've heard.
Okay, cool.
When he walks through the city, that's like physically the guy in a suit.
Another starting point for this would be, I guess, hey, Fantastic Four's coming out in a couple of weeks. We excited?
Yeah.
That could be.
That
but
could be
I
a
think-
great place to start.
I think the problem
would
is
be-
starting with that is like,
That would be wonderful.
I don't know.
I'm
He's
not
like,
really-
But before we even got to say anything, you were like,
Galactus.
"Hey, man, we realized we haven't done this," and then we listed other things we've done.
That's also a fine starting point. It probably just needed the next bit, which I could have also done, but I got distracted by lemons.
I mean, I guess.
And then
Here we
the
are.
constant cascading of
Interrupted thoughts.
So, Fantastic Four First Steps coming out fairly soon. Are we excited for it?
Not really.
Okay. A lot of people were,
Yeah.
but then there was early reactions which weren't bad, but they weren't excited.
Yeah.
Which then I think has sucked the excitement out of everyone because I think at best this is another Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
And at
Okay.
worst is something slightly worse than Thunderbolts.
Yeah. Come on, dude. What we got? What's slightly worse than Thunderbolts?
I think at best this is another Thunderbolts. At worst, this is another movie like Captain America 4, but better.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that. Well, I think because like the pitch for this was quite exciting. Like I remember when they were like, it's set in a stylized sort of like modern sci-fi 19 sort of 40s, 50s,
60s, actually, yeah.
with like.
Did you watch the trailer?
Yeah, I'm not that good at picking decades, I suppose.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, and you know, the Fantastic Four are the only superheroes, and like, well, what's gonna happen? Galactus comes. It's like, oh, that's a kind of an exciting premise. I wish it looked slightly better, a little bit. I think the lighting kind of stinks.
Really?
Yeah.
This looks better than...
It looks better than a lot of others, but I still think it has
Brother,
that.
I should have showed you a picture of fucking Captain America 4 or Ironheart or something before I press play on this trailer if you think this looks bad.
To give me
I don't know. It looked good. It looked like everything seemed to be stylized into a point. I don't know, the lighting looked good. The frame, like when they changed the frames for like, you know, flashbacks or whatever it is within it. I don't know. I thought it all looked nice and stylized and with the point. I don't know.
Do we
think it looked good.
there's going to be any... Okay, so we've seen Thunderbolts, and presumably anyone that's listening to a podcast about Fantastic Four First Steps has also seen Thunderbolts, or at least familiar.
Yeah, I reckon they haven't.
Yeah.
No.
I
But
think
you
a
gotta
shocking
understand,
portion of the Baseless Speculation listening audience hasn't seen an MCU movie.
Yeah.
in years.
It's
Their
like
last one was
2016.
their last one was Ant-Man, and they got upset because, like you, Ant-Man didn't fuck a hot dog or
Yeah,
whatever.
I wish he went in a big bottle. That's what
Yeah.
the people say.
I'm never gonna give this company my money ever again.
Yeah. That's what I would have done. If I
Ant-Man
didn't do this
didn't go in the-
podcast, that would have been how I reacted.
No,
But
I
also,
know.
like, Thunderbolts did not do that well.
Oh, that's true. Good point.
No. But okay.
That's what I mean. It's
Yeah.
like, it's like,
Thunderbolts.
sure.
Yeah.
Thunderbolts didn't crack 400 million worldwide.
Yeah.
Baseless Speculation also hasn't cracked 400
100%.
million
I understand that.
worldwide.
But
Yeah.
what I mean is, if someone's like, oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Fantastic Four maybe, or like, oh, I want to see Fantastic Four, but Thunderbolts, whatever. And I
Yeah.
get it, because again, they're like,
Yeah, actually, that's a fair
if you
point.
treat it like, the trades or like even just the floppies, you're like, well, yeah, I don't collect, say, Thunderbolts, but
Yeah.
I love my Fantastic Four, so I'm going to watch, pick that up.
That is fair.
So,
Yeah.
Well-
that's that sort of interconnectedness. So
If you
that-
are aware of the ending of Thunderbolts, the post-credit scene where the Fantastic Four come to their Earth, is there any surprises? Like, as in, the entire plot of the movie is pretty much laid out for us now.
Yeah, that's
without
true.
seeing it. The movie starts after they've got their Fantastic Four powers.
Yeah.
It'll probably give us a flashback of them getting the powers.
Yeah, I think you see clips of that in some of the trailers.
Yep.
Then they're loved. They will beat the shit out of Mole Man, who's not in the trailer,
Correct.
but
He's in the movie.
he's in the movie. They'll beat the shit out of Mole Man. Then the start of Act 2 will be them sort of doing like a victory lap, and that's when they're probably going on TV and
of course, to be like, we didn't.
or
realize
alternatively,
there was
that's where the flashback happens.
Oh, yeah.
It starts with them beating the shit out of Mole Man. Anyway, go on TV, victory lap. Then they're like, hey, we're beloved. And then Silver Surfer comes.
Yeah.
Who's hot now. Awesome.
Yeah, sick.
hot before, hot now.
Yeah, that's
Wonderful.
true. It's never bad. And then presumably they do not save the day.
Well, yeah, they like, and everyone's like, that's okay, Fantastic Four are going to. So then they go to space a second time with their powers.
Yes.
And then they presumably either speak to Galactus or Silver Surfer, and they're like, oh, we
Cooked it.
Yeah.
don't have a solution.
My power is that I can stretch. That's not
And then
enough.
they come back to Earth. Everyone's like, you know what? Fuck the Fantastic Four, which you see a little bit of in the trailer. And then presumably they lose to Galactus. Oh, yeah. Also, because early on, people thought that Sue was just going to be pregnant for the whole movie.
But Frankie Richards is on screen.
Presumably something is going to happen.
Well, do they
him.
show, what's the bit where they show the public hating the Fantastic Four?
Oh, no. They're not hating.
Because I wonder if they're just going to,
like,
I wonder if
they're like, I can't.
I wonder if they'll leave it ambiguous. So in space, they try and defeat Galactus, and they can't. And then they leave before we see the Earth get fully destroyed. So that when we see them in later movies, they're like, we got to go back. And they got some like motivation. I don't know. I feel like it's a pretty grim ending for a movie.
Yeah, but they might do that.
That would be impressive. I would respect the hell out of it.
It might be this depressing ending. What it feels like.
They defeat Galactus, and Galactus is like, I'll get you in another reality, Fantastic Four, and I'm sending you to 616. I'm Galactus.
That's
an awesome voice. Yeah.
But I think they're going to borrow from the, I guess, like the read that like Hickman wrote one about, like, the whole incursion shit.
Yeah.
Which is that you can't win. You just have to not lose.
Yeah.
And I think they're just going to do that. And I think that's where it's going to end up with the end of it, where it's to be like, well, we can't win. Where there is no saving this.
Yeah.
And even if they stop Galactus, it's like actually there's, maybe they do stop Galactus, but then it's like, oh shit, is there that incursion thing that's happening? And like that. I can't, we thought, Galactus was bad, but this is getting worse.
Yeah.
So I'm presuming it's like, it's the whole thing of like, you reckon like Franklin Richards was not going to even like, Sue's going to be pregnant and we're not going to see Franklin.
Well, that also implies that there's a time jump in the movie, which I didn't even consider.
Yeah, and we see that as well with like Ben's beard.
Of course.
We have the Thing having a rock beard, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be like chisel. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Silver Surfer comes down. It's like, Galactus is coming, and it's going to be like, he's going to be there in like
Silver Surfer comes. Johnny followed. That's where that shot of Johnny in space. And then he falls back down to Earth, and then it'll be like 2 years later.
Yes. And in that time,
we don't even just do 2 years later.
It's not 2 years because Franklin is not a toddler.
Yeah. But in that time, Reed Richards is like, I got to figure out the fucking formula to get rid of Galactus.
Maybe they start and doing like,
or it's a montage.
Get like a montage, or we see like little snippets to be like, 2 months later, or like, depends how much they're going to borrow from certain comics, because they could just do what they're sort of doing in the Ultimate Universe now, which is like, Silver Surfer comes down, it's like, within 1 year, or let's say, I don't know, 18 months.
Yeah.
It's like, Galactus coming is going to like eat your planet.
Yeah.
And then it's like 18 months to go.
Yeah.
With like a countdown. Yeah, that could be kind of fun.
4 months to go. And it just kind of like keeps jumping to those kind of points.
So you reckon that it's going to end with like a failure or a loss from the Fantastic Four? I don't think Marvel will do that.
Originally I thought, but you got to remember, what do you mean? Infinity War does that exact thing.
Infinity War does that with the setup that they will obviously save
what's
the day.
What's the fucking movie after this? Well,
who knows?
The movie after this is like what? Secret Wars?
Spider-Man. But then it's Secret Wars.
But even so, Secret Wars is
then it's Doomsday. Sorry, not Secret Wars. Yeah, but that's the whole thing. Because if it's Doom, which it is, because it's Doomsday.
It's Doomsday,
Fantastic Four kick the shit out of Doom.
Yeah, but that's not Galactus.
Yeah, but then like it'll be like, we've reversed the incursion or whatever.
Yeah.
Secret War never happened.
Yeah.
It might be that Reed is just like, it seems
fucking
like
Ragnarok, Thor's planet exploded.
Yeah, but they saved the day and everyone's okay. They get the ship.
No, lots of people died.
Well, but I would still say it ends on a... I think there's a difference between, hey, the planet's destroyed, but Ragnarok is a people, not a planet, so we're going to be okay. And
Ragnarok's a people, not a planet.
Yeah, dude.
shut the fuck up. Asgard's a people, not a planet, and we destroyed Earth, and everyone we know and love is dead, and we've fled in failure.
Well, it might,
which I just don't think the Marvel will do.
No,
Yeah,
it won't be fled in failure.
Yeah.
It might just simply be a Reed did something, which is kind of like, well, I tried to save as many people as we can.
Yeah.
And his ship is like the first of many little like ships that will eventually we see.
They could just
in
do the
Thunderbolts. You
Asgard.
just see the first one.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it's like, oh wow, what's that ship? And then it's like, thump, 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 and a bunch of ships are there because like Reed's like, I tried to do as much as I could.
You had to get everybody out.
Or it could simply just to be like, you know, the end being, because I don't know if it's been confirmed or not, but it's like the Fantastic Four are not from that universe.
Oh.
Or is that a rumor?
That's a rumor.
Yeah.
People think that it's going to be that they went to space the first time, or when they got their powers, they went into.
Because it could be, say if that's the case, or it doesn't matter. Reed either discovers that it's like, oh, there's other universes out there, and so it ends with like, you know, with 6 months ago or whatever, Reed being like, oh, we can't win this. The only way to win this is for us to leave, and by us meaning humanity. And so it's like, we need to find somewhere safe.
Yeah.
And so it's a scouting mission, and they'll be back to bring the rest of the people.
Yeah, I don't think
so it's going to be like, it's a
What
it's
about
a
the other
loss.
way around? Fantastic Four are coming to this universe to get help to kill Galactus.
Oh, yeah. True.
And then this is actually setting up
the beginning of Secret Wars or Doomsday or some shit.
Doomsday, Secret Wars, and then it turns out that the third thing is let's Avengers kill Galactus.
Yeah.
Because it could be, because we are thinking like, oh yeah, it's they fail, their Earth gets at.
I don't think it'll be a failure. I think it'll
but,
be I honestly think it's going to be, because Marvel love to do this.
Yeah.
They'll win, like they'll defeat Galactus,
Yeah.
and that Earth is safe. But for some reason, a consequence of that is they get fucked off into their
Oh,
universe.
yeah.
Like, I don't think Galactus
Like a
is,
multiversal bomb or whatever
Yeah.
is how they save the day. But they're like, as a consequence of this, we're going to get shunted. And then they're going to be like, in Doomsday or whatever, they're going to be like, the multiversal bomb. You know how the timelines have been being fucked up for about a decade, and every bad thing, they're like, this is it. Now all of the timelines are coming together.
Could be like
The multiversal bomb's the one that's going to properly
like
do
an
it.
ultimate nullifier kind of thing.
Oh,
where they sort
please
of
introduce
use
the
that,
ultimate
but
nullifier.
it doesn't work. How they kind of give it a bit more different rules.
Yeah.
And they get like shunted to like this.
Maybe they
universe.
sacrifice Franklin to Galactus.
Oh, yeah.
Well, speaking of Franklin, like maybe his powers kick in quite young.
Yeah.
As a baby, and that's how he.
Yeah,
and then it's like, oh no.
Yeah, he's like,
We've
I
got
gotta
this
save.
alternate reality warping baby.
He could be like, I gotta save my family. Send them to 616.
You spoke to a 7 or 8-month-old baby earlier today.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
reckon that they have the concept of saving?
No, I think
was Johnny Baby capable of saving?
I think if
I
Johnny
look
Baby
forward
had
to being a
It's awesome when babies sound like dogs.
Yeah, Johnny
Yeah.
Baby loves to pants.
Yeah.
It stresses me.
little dog boy.
Yeah, I think if he had reality warping powers, he'd just be eating my glasses, which he loves to do.
True, but it's a reality warping baby, so he might be giving himself a good smart brain.
Oh, that's true.
Baby geniuses.
Baby geniuses. I love that movie as a kid, dude.
The first one?
Yeah, big baby geniuses.
Yeah, I watched that in the cinema.
That's awesome.
I haven't seen the second one, though. What's it called? Baby Geniuses, Malibu's Most Wanted or something?
I think they get superpowers in Baby
Oh,
Geniuses.
Baby
too.
Geniuses, super.
Super babies, baby genius Superman or some shit.
Yeah, Baby Genius Superman.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I
Most
associate
Wanted.
that with the Look Who's Talking franchise.
Well, yeah,
too.
because they're both babies.
Babies
And
that talk.
Let me
Babies.
guess, Baby's Day Out also?
No, well, the baby doesn't talk in that. It just gets into shenanigans.
Yeah, that baby should not be on that construction set.
No, but it
Really
survives.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
and Dunstan checked in.
Yeah.
So,
He's a bad ape.
he's
Yeah.
a very bad ape.
Yeah, he's a bad ape, dude.
Yeah, that ape has morals.
Yeah.
Bad.
Morally bad ape.
So we think there could be like options here of like, okay, are they escaping? Are they fleeing? Are they seeking help? Are they just is it an accident they come here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the only mystery of the movie, though?
Well, not really. I mean, we're making it that.
Yeah.
Mystery. Like,
But is it no? But I mean, like,
what are the other
like,
unanswered questions?
Well, we don't again because
I know because we haven't seen the movie.
Yeah.
No, but it could just be like because we have not even seen like the Mole Man, so it's like, is the Mole Man even going to be part of like a bigger thing, or is it going to be like almost a throwaway to be like that's the first thing that they that's like the flashbacks of them doing that, and who cares? But if so, I'm reckoning like well, you're going to bring him back for the third act, surely the Mole Man.
Yeah.
You don't just have a smoking mole man in the first act.
Chekhov's Mole Man.
So like that. There's also like we're focusing on Galactus here. We know Galactus hits the Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you see that in the
Galactus
trailer.
is doing shit, but then you're like, is Galactus going to be part of like the larger problem, or
Why
is
is
it going
Galactus
to be
so
like
small?
I think
Why
he
is
can just change his shape
But why would he do that?
to wreck the city more thoroughly.
And also like we don't know how this Galactus is working in terms of. Is it going to like eat the planet with a spoon? Is it going to just do that thing where it just destroys it all into like?
It seemed like more like he's just because there's that one shot in the trailer of the Earth exploding. Do you remember that shot?
No.
Yeah, there's like a shot. It's like an exterior shot. Well, I mean, it has to be an exterior. It's from space, and there's Earth, and you see it like an explosion roiling out.
Maybe I missed that one. Whoopsie daisies.
Which trailer was it in?
I don't remember. Not the teaser. I don't think.
Okay, so it was an attack, or was it internally like go?
No, it was more like like something had hit it.
Okay.
So
I know is it from one of the trailers, the Silver Surfer, like she appears with like a bunch of meteorites.
No. It's like an exterior shot of Earth, and there's like like Earth's exploding.
Man,
yeah.
So tired.
Okay, so we're talking about the final trailer, which is the one that people say there's heaps of spoilers in, but I think it's more just really hammers home that there's nothing really to spoil.
Yeah. I think
just like again, like it doesn't necessarily need a mystery. I think it's going to be.
Well, no, I don't think it's necessarily a mystery. I think it's nice
like,
when a trailer has. It poses
nice
questions that the movie will answer.
Also, it's just nice when a Marvel movie goes in a direction you're not expecting.
That's true.
It's so rare for that.
Yeah.
That's also true.
Yeah.
Even Infinity War and fucking Endgame didn't really go in like a surprising direction.
No.
I am like it'd be interesting to see. I mean, again, because there's stuff you could play with, but because we sort of know there's going to be the Doomsday and like. The whole like battle world,
and we know that the Fantastic Four are also heading to 616.
Not even just that.
Are you getting confused like with the Earth exploding as when Silver Surfer comes in the Earth, like the skies? Like
he could be.
Motherfuckers, I'll find it.
I'm watching. I'm halfway through. Nothing.
So, well, kind of like Jack, your point when we were talking about Thunderbolts, that you're like. Because it might be your point actually, JD.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, this team is cool. I like it. It's nice. And I want more of this. And I want to explore how they deal with everything. And we know that they're going to deal with doomsday bullshit in Battle World. So we're not really going to see this team from, like, when are we going to see this team again dealing with this kind of like their stuff they want to deal with? We're not. We're going to have to see them in like this big old multiverse fuckfest. And it might be the same thing with the Fantastic Four. Like we get to like really know these people and like this team, and it might be really interesting. What I was thinking would be kind of very fascinating.
Oh, hang on, I've got it.
You come from this universe where they love you, where they've made a cartoon, where they interview you, and they come to 616, and heroes aren't necessarily seen like that.
Yeah.
But that would make more sense if the 616 universe had the whole like anti-mutant sort of like sentiment, which it just doesn't have. Because
it's
then it would
kind
be
of
this weird juxtaposition that like, as I was thinking, as Reed and that would experience, be like, we're beloved where we're from.
Yeah,
and everyone here thinks we're muties and they hate us.
Yeah, but it's just
But then it's like, well,
I think it's also
isn't
this
that.
funny thing of like, it's about 151 in the just regular trailer, official trailer. I think what sucks as well is that this setting, even though I think the lighting could be better, but anyway, the trailer, the setting of Fantastic Four is like stylized and different, and it stands out as being like kind of unique looking, and you're like, that's really cool. That's like, it's different. And then when it's like, but we're destroying their universe. They're actually going to come to 616, which looks like shit.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's kind of disappointing.
Yeah,
you
so
know?
I mean, they could destroy it, but they might not. And I think this is where...
But even if they don't destroy it, you can't do that with the MCU anymore. Like, they don't...
They could do a thing, which is
You
like...
found it?
Yes, JD?
No, it's like, like in, I'll show you a picture. Earth isn't exploding.
Okay.
It's the best way I can describe it is, you know how like in movies and stuff like that, they'll do like, I reckon almost a similar shot in Infinity War. It's like there's a spot on Earth that's like red.
Okay.
Yeah, that looks like Earth exploding to me.
That also looks like that's a giant impact.
That's a gigantic impact on Earth.
Yeah, that's bad. If that happened for real,
Oh yeah, no, I know.
we for dead.
Yes.
That's not good.
Earth's not exploding is what I'm saying.
I
I'm standing by it.
Oh.
I reckon, I honestly
What's
think
happening in that clip?
I think it's going to be a Galactus sucking up.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because it's also swirling
Yeah.
like a storm.
Yeah, that's true. It is swirling.
Yeah.
Because something they could do is like, it's the first act is like kind of like that whole setup, and you get in the flashbacks, and you get in like the whole the Mole Man fight, how they got their powers mixed with the whole like, oh cool, and also we're gonna have a kid.
Yeah.
Then we get the second act, which is going to be the like, oh, and now Galactus is going to come soon, and so then it's a period of like, well, how do we deal with this world-ending event that this like person or whatever this thing is, we don't even know what this is, coming to Earth while also having to like raise a child and have a baby and that kind of stuff, and also try and fix all that. So it's like work-life balance.
Yeah.
And it could kind of either go into like, yep, Galactus is here, and they stop Galactus. Maybe they try and get Silver Surfer on their side or whatever that kind of thing is. Yeah. And that's like sort of how it ends.
I think they're going to probably, thinking about it now. Okay. Sorry. Please.
No, I wasn't done.
No.
The question on everyone's mind is, how is Jackson so gassy this early in the morning?
That's also a good question.
Like, you haven't been smashing caffeine.
I've had 2 coffees. That's it.
Yeah, but there's no. Yeah,
no,
there's
that's
no
what
gas.
I mean. That's what I mean. I'm on your side.
Yeah. So what we could do is like where we're thinking like, oh, it's going to end with the whole Galactus fight, and like, but that could happen like midway through.
Yeah.
And then it could be like maybe they're shunted midway through to 616.
That would be crazy.
Because we ain't expecting that.
Yeah, that would be a twist.
And then it's like, oh shit, here's this. I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
That could be that. Another thing,
Marvel.
hey, here's a curveball.
Yeah.
All right. So they're coming to 616 universe, and we're thinking, well, they're there. Maybe they're the new heralds of Galactus.
Oh, that would be
another
crazy.
Curveball. We could throw that way.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Marvel and Disney are losing money.
What?
Every single one of these movies, they need to treat like it's the first movie someone's seeing since Endgame.
Yeah.
Or since Spider-Man. Everyone on Earth saw Spider-Man. Which makes sense. Best movie ever made.
Of course.
You know how I know? Because there was not 1, not 2, but 3 Spider-Man.
That's the more Spider-Man you have.
Exactly.
Live out with the caveat of it has to be live action.
And they didn't tell me that there was 3 Spider-Mans. So when I went into the cinema, I jacked my dick off.
Yeah.
3 Spider-Mans, 3 boys in the studio,
Exactly.
Spider-Man for each one of us.
Spider-Man for all seasons.
Wonderful.
Yeah. That is the trick. Put guys in the movie that everyone knows, but don't tell people they're putting the guys. This Deadpool Wolverine, the same thing. Hey, Blade's in this movie.
Oh, yeah, that's true, yeah.
No way. Electra's in this movie. No way. I didn't expect that. 10 out of 10 greatest movie ever made.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Because then you could be like, oh, if that's who's like not telling us about, who else are they not telling us about?
What other guys could there be?
So now we have to think about the guys.
What about a question I have about
I don't think there's any guys. If anything, we might get some of the Thunderbolts.
Yeah. A question I have about the Fantastic Four movie is, will we see a Doctor Doom in this movie?
Oh, Dr. Doom, sorry.
Like
my brain registered you say Dr. Doom. Like, I heard Dr. Doom.
Yeah.
Brain was like, Doctor Strange? Why would he be here?
Oh, Jackson misspoke.
You
He
mean
meant Doctor Strange.
You meant Dr. Doolittle.
Yeah.
Are we going to see Dr. Doolittle?
Oh my
the man
God,
who
this-
can talk to dogs?
Yeah.
This dragon's full of shit in its asshole. I'm going to pull these bagpipes out or whatever and make it fart on me in a horny way.
It's a great movie.
No, it's not.
That's what I hear.
Great movie. Pure cinema.
yeah.
No, but
Yeah,
do we
yeah.
think that we're going to see Doctor Doom in this
in a
movie?
post-credit scene.
Like a Victor thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it could just
You won't
be,
get a Victor. I don't think you get a Doom. I think it'll literally be...
You think we're just going to, the first Doom we're going to get is alternate reality Robert Downey Jr.?
Yeah, I think that the Doom we're going to get is... You know what?
Yeah.
With that, if there is any leaks or anything, know that I do not know them.
Yeah.
But I reckon post-credit scene, and it'll probably be the second one because the first one will probably be some other shit.
Yeah.
Will just be like a dark room that's like... Who knows where the fuck it is?
Yeah.
A chair. The chair will turn around and it'll be Robert Downey Jr. sitting in it.
Yeah. And will he go, shh,
No, he'll
to
go.
the screen?
Oh, maybe actually.
Yeah.
As Doom though.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
in
yeah.
a mask.
Yeah.
What?
That
Okay.
stinks.
Could be. It's all right. Maybe because they don't do a lot with like the ends. Like they don't do too many story beats or whatever.
Yeah.
But it could just be, say, for example, we'll posit that the Fantastic Four fucked up, and that they're like, we can't save this universe, we can't save this world or whatever. And let's say they chuff off to 616 for whatever reason. Maybe they're either getting help or they're like, serious. And it could just be like the end screen is like Times Square, those big screens. Doom face appears, and you just like the Fantastic Four abandoned you. The Fantastic Four are nowhere to be seen, but I am here. Your savior is Doom.
Yeah.
Something like that.
What about this? You do have a Victor Von Doom in this movie, but he's just a fucking guy. He's like a good friend to the Fantastic Four, not played by Robert Downey Jr., played by some other guy. And then when the Fantastic Four leave, he's like, fuck, well, I still have all of the fantastic, like maybe I can...
I've got the Fantastica.
I got the Fantastica. Maybe I can help the people. And then Multiverse Portal opens up, Robert Downey Jr., Dr. Doom comes out, shoots him in the head. And he's like, the
only real Doom is me.
Yeah. Or even better, Multiverse Portal opens up, Kang steps out, shoots him, and then another one opens up, Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom steps out, shoots him in the head. Because that's a fun. This
he looks at the camera and he's like, that bullet that shot that Kang killed all Kangs.
It was an all Kang bullet.
Yeah, I made it in a lab.
Yeah. Oh, well, if you made it in a lab, I'm satisfied. Well, because this is getting away from the Fantastic Four a little bit maybe, but that is a question people have about Doctor Doom. Like, there's so much speculation that Doctor Doom is going to kill Kang in Doomsday or in Secret Wars, which I think is so funny. Like, you don't need...
And look, I know when I keep saying people, I am talking about presumably some of the audience to listen to this.
Yeah.
But the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it's the same with, like, nerd culture at the moment has got this thing of, like, Star Wars is the same.
Yeah.
And we're fucking in it. So, like, don't get upset when I say this. But it's like, everyone has to see this, because it's a universe now. If the universe doesn't make sense or things aren't explained or like they set up things that never get paid off, people have to like mentally be like, no, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So that wrecks all of my silly movies.
Yeah. Well,
but they're the most important thing in the world, so I need to jump through hoops. So we
like
need validation.
In the new fucking Donkey Kong game, where Donkey Kong's new best friend is Pauline.
But she's a teenager.
Okay. And people are like, but what the fuck is going on?
Because Cranky stole
the timeline. The Donkey Kong timeline is in trouble. Well, I can't imagine if I cared about the Donkey Kong that's absurd. Who cares?
I think that Marvel is to blame for this.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
So it is funny when it comes back to bite them on the dick and ass.
Well, it's also funny to think about the phase one of like Marvel was pretty coherent, right? Like
no.
Yes and no. Like there are. Again, if you really wanted to, you could nitpick and go ham on it. And people often do.
Yeah. But I mean, if you
Phil Coulson has one bad week where everything happens.
Yeah, sure. But if you compare that first phase in terms of coherency to the current phase,
it starts falling off. The wheels fall off straight away. Though Iron Man 3 and Age of Ultron is the first example. But everyone's just like, well, Iron Man 3 is dumb because my Tony Stark wouldn't do that. So I don't even care that it doesn't make sense because that's a bad movie. And
it's non-canon, basically.
It's good. Idiots. Morons. Age of Ultron sucks my fucking asshole.
Yes, dude.
It's one of the worst movies in the entire MCU.
That's saying something.
Yeah. Well, maybe not anymore.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a pretty bold claim. You seen Quantumania, dude?
Yeah.
He's bad.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's that weird thing where it's just like, it needs to make sense. Whereas, like,
it just can't.
You look at it's just very funny.
It's for the fans, though, if Kang comes back and gets killed by Doom. For the fans.
It's just very, very funny that the MCU has, it's now the same, like, trap falls as the comic.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love that.
It's
much
just like
kind
the
of like,
comics.
You just need to approach it as who cares,
and
move on, and to be like, oh yeah, that makes much better sense. I don't need to worry about it.
Yeah,
or well, that sucked. Why'd they do that?
They fucked themselves in the asshole, though. Derogatory style.
Nice.
Not in because getting fucked in the
fun
ass, getting fucked in the ass or fucking in the ass can be awesome. But this is unfortunately
one of the bad ones.
In the ass,
no prep.
A dirty one.
Oh no,
that's
but like dirty, not in the hot way.
No,
bad way.
No. Not like, oh, you've been so dirty. It's like, oh, this is dirty.
Oh, this is dirty.
There's poop under my foreskin.
Yeah.
Wow, that was dirty. That way, things went crazy. Yeah.
That has distracted me from what I was going to say. Oh yeah, that's right. Because they have gone so broad with their appeal, and the budgets to make their movie look like total shit. Because it's very important you spend $300 million on every movie so that you don't have to film on location.
Yeah.
Why build a set for $40 when you could spend $40 million to film in a cupboard?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so they have to broadly appeal to people, so they can't do like nuances or but also it's not a TV show, so you can't have you can't start it in medias res and then fucking end on like a cliffhanger because then it's unsatisfying as a whole movie.
There's some weird thing of so the Fantastic Four movie, right? It could have theoretically just set entirely within its own universe.
Yeah.
And it
that's
could have
unsatisfying.
Well, but I think 3 or 4 phases ago, everyone would have been like, sweet, cool. Yeah. I can't wait for the Fantastic Four 2. And maybe in Fantastic Four 3, they'll enter the 616 or something. That would be sweet. Yeah. But I don't think you can do that anymore because Marvel's chasing this high of like
every guy in one room.
Yeah. Because you're right. It could have been like it's a straight film, like the Fantastic Four film, and that's it. And maybe you have a little Easter egg in there. You have something like there of Reed just, clacking away at a keyboard and being like, I think I'm very close to discovering other realities.
Yeah.
I think there is like the multi-reality film may be true or not. Anyway, we're dealing with this right now.
I think I'm close to some big breakthrough. And then people on the forums are like, what's his big breakthrough? Is it multiversal travel? We don't know.
And so what he's researched is like a little loading bug.
Yeah. You're like, that's gonna.
Oh, that's something. That's something.
It's at 61.6%.
Oh my god! I think I know what's going on. And I don't know. It breeds that kind of but I don't think because that movie's not going to make $1 billion.
Yeah.
But just that's not what audiences want, clearly. I think that's the funniest thing with any criticism we have of the MCU. You're like, this movie sucks, but Deadpool, Wolverine, and Spider-Man: No Way Home are like some of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. Right? Like this, they're truly abominable pieces of garbage.
Oh, I know. I watch those and I'm like, I don't understand how anyone likes this.
But
and then I ask people and I'm like, I still don't get it.
Audiences, fucking the Lilo and Stitch live action remake is like a dog shit on a plate, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And
apparently it's a step up.
Hey, the dog's shitting on a plate now.
Exactly.
It's no longer just on the floor.
You're eating it at a table. Okay. But I just think
lovely.
It's so funny. That's what audiences want. What are you going to do?
Well, that's the thing. It's like, it's that I think Netflix talk about.
So just quickly on the I'm so excited to see what Disney's lesson is.
Yeah.
Because Lilo and Stitch is going to make $1 billion.
Yeah.
Well, they're making Lilo and Stitch too,
Snow White bombed so hard, but they're both live-action remakes.
That's a good question.
And you can't even say that one movie's white and the other one's not.
Yeah.
Neither of them are white.
That's true. God damn it.
But Lilo, it's a child and an alien, and one is an adult woman.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the lesson.
Maybe they'll blame.
I hope the lesson is we should never hire Gal Gadot to do anything ever again.
That would be a good
awesome
lesson.
Dude.
Lesson.
I mean, studios are sort of figuring that out.
Yeah.
They're
I like
making
the idea of an executive watching, being like, "Wait a minute, she can't act.
She's terrible. How long's this been the case? Why did we hire her?
Did she stop being good?
Yeah.
Wait, show me the first movie she was in.
Oh my god, she was never good. What are we, stupid?
What the fuck?
Yes. But anyway,
it's again like that. What Netflix are talking about, or they've mentioned, where it's just like, why is there so much exposition or pointless bullshit? I don't. Why? It's like, because everyone's watching this on your giving us a phone.
Absolutely,
watch. We need this.
You just need to say it 7 or 8 times so that even though people aren't looking at the screen when it happens, their brain captures the gist.
Yeah. So if you are like one of the very few who are paying attention, we're sorry, but that's not.
It's not really for you. Yeah.
It's for the 90% of the people who are watching this being like,
absolutely.
What's going on again?
Nice.
I'm washing my underwear in the sink. The kitchen sink.
Yeah, dude.
So that's happening on one hand. My other hand is on holding my phone, watching gooning videos. And I'm like, what's happening in the Old Guard 2?
Yeah.
Oh, I understand now because they made this for me.
This is my favorite movie of all time. Even though I'm watching it with the Meta Quest goggles on, doing VR pornography at the same time. That's awesome. Augmented reality porn where I'm watching a hologram fuck me and just looking around. What's happening in the old guard? Awesome,
Charlie's, dude. Oh, she's a good actress.
They
Nice,
made this
dude.
movie 4 years ago or whatever, but never released it. But now the time's right because people don't care if things are good anymore.
Yeah.
Give us some slop.
Yeah.
We'll complain on the internet if Doctor Who's woke now, but we'll fucking jack off our little tiny penis. This is nerderotic again.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, Doctor Who's woke, but I'm glad that fucking Zack Snyder got money or some shit.
Yeah.
It's all dog shit.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's just very...
At least Roofman looks good.
Yeah, dude. Roofman looks awesome. You know?
He shouldn't have done that in real life.
I'm excited for the movie
should've.
Weapons.
Okay.
That looks pretty good.
Yeah.
It looks cool. It had spooky marketing. It was like, porch camera footage of a bunch of kids running away.
Instead of doing this podcast, I wish I was watching 28 Years Later because apparently it's very good.
Yeah, I've heard it's got a crazy end, and then I had the end spoiled for me, and I was like, that is crazy. I'm not gonna. But I was like, that is crazy.
Yeah, it's like a coda though.
Yes. Yeah.
But also,
someone tried to not spoil it, but then they use and they used a metaphor, or they were using an example, which only really made me more confused.
Okay.
Well, yeah, they mentioned Jimmy Savile, and I went, "What do you mean?" And they never elaborated.
Okay.
That doesn't.
And I haven't seen the fucking
Let
thing.
me tell you something.
Yeah.
That's not even coherent with the spoiler I know.
What do they mean?
We got to watch the movie.
What do they
I'm
mean?
hearing,
I'm
dude.
like, what have the British done now?
in great news for the 28 zombie franchise.
Yeah.
How we had 28 days, 28 weeks, and then no third movie, even though it was a planned trilogy.
Yeah.
28 Years Later is doing fine.
Yeah.
Not enough to be very exciting.
Yeah.
They're releasing the sequels in 28 weeks later.
Yeah.
Which is 28 years later, The Bone Temple.
Yeah,
I'm
dude,
so excited for this
that's an
Bone
awesome
Temple.
title.
That's the first one that Jackson wants to get in on. But calling your movie The Bone Temple 6 months after a movie that people look, it's not going to make money. So this third movie that they haven't already filmed, because they've finished The Bone Temple, I don't think it's going to happen, and we're going to end with a second unfinished trilogy.
That's so sad.
Well, brother, maybe you should be out there supporting this movie
Well, I'm going to see
franchise.
the Bone Temple.
No, you're not.
I'll be one of the few guys that does. The Bone Temple's an awesome name for a movie.
Yeah.
The
Fuck.
Bone.
The
28
Bone
years
Temple.
later, The Bone Temple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
That's sick, dude.
You're telling me you're not intrigued?
What
No.
is the Bone Temple?
It would be a
Well,
temple
yeah.
made of bones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool as fuck.
It sounds
Dude,
like
think of a temple made of bones.
the Bone
Fuck that
Temple.
rule.
There's a fucking name for that. That's an ossuary.
See?
Honestly, 28 years later, the ossuary is a way better name.
No, it's not.
No, the Bone Temple's
I'm
way
Johnny
better than
Goes
the
to
ossuary.
barely any movies. What's that mean?
Yeah.
I'm
An
Johnny
ostrich?
Goes to barely any movies. The Bone Temple. That
Hell
sounds
yeah,
like
that's
a
a
ghost ship or
Bro,
some
oh,
shit.
Yeah,
the ghost ship.
great
Oh,
name as well.
Great name. I'm going to see that.
Yeah,
And
I'm-
I did at the cinema.
28 days later, the ghost ship?
Fuck, are you kidding
Are
me?
you kidding my ass right now,
Dude,
dude?
I'm
Yeah.
going.
I would watch that movie. Was Ghost Ship the one that opens with a bunch of people getting cut
Yeah.
in half?
Sure does.
That was like a movie where on the schoolyard, kids were like, on the schoolyard.
Yeah.
Kids were like, this happens in the beginning. And I was so scared of that. I was like, I can never watch this movie.
Yeah.
dude.
I was such a coward as a little
Yeah,
child.
that's fair.
I was really scared of Blade too.
Because of the blood orgy?
Well, I just remember I went to a birthday party. I would have been like 13. This is
Yeah.
embarrassing for a 13-year-old, but I at the time I didn't care. And I was like, I can't watch this movie. I'm too scared. And I just hid her under a blanket. the
Yeah,
whole
that's
time.
awesome.
Well, a bunch of cooler boys watched
Yeah.
Blade too.
Well, I
the
mean, like
last time you were invited to.
yeah.
well, I think it was Saw 4. I bought a ticket to see that in the cinemas with my friends.
yeah.
Since 2007, so I'm like 15 or 16.
Yeah.
And yeah, I couldn't hack it, so I left after the opening kill, which is easily the most graphic part of the
Yeah.
movie. So if I had stayed, I would have been fine because I bodied the worst bit.
Yeah.
And then just snuck into Good Luck Chuck and watched that by myself and met up with my friends later.
That's awesome, dude.
I had a wonderful time.
Yeah, it was good. Well, I'm going to take this moment because I had a migraine earlier and drank heaps of water to
gonna
go
go piss? Awesome.
Otherwise, I
Yeah.
will piss my pants.
I love
That's fair,
You
dude.
got to
Based
do
on
it one day. It's the
speculation-
best feelings, Amit.
to leave the podcast, go piss, and then come back and
I
know that
think
the podcast has continued.
I love it.
Yeah, it's good.
I think it's fabulous.
I have that risk of it's that coming back part.
yeah.
There's a risk.
There is a risk.
There's a risk.
You could lose the
I'm
thread.
like,
it's very possible.
Your son's out
I know.
Yeah.
He's way better than
Heaps better. Heaps better. I
So
probably,
wait, is your fear that you'll leave?
Yeah.
And then when you're outside, you're like, why would I ever go back?
Why would I
in?
ever go back? Why would I
deal
ever
with
go
that
back?
shit? There's nothing good for me in there.
I'm done, bro.
You just stand there with your hand on the doorknob being like, what?
No.
What? You know what?
You know, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And we'd see you through the window as you just left, and we'd be like, good for him.
It's
Be
the,
a Goodwill
it's the,
Hunting
It's the
moment.
Goodwill Hunting. Yes, it's my Goodwill Hunting moment. It's like, you know, every time that I go out and I want to say, no,
Yeah.
I want to go back out there and then just leave.
Yeah, it would be the happiest day for me, Zamet, if when you left to go to the toilet, you didn't come back and changed your life.
Yeah.
That's great.
You look out, there's a big for sale sign on the
Well, that's
front.
complicated
Wait a
my
second.
life somewhat.
What's going on?
I think the best scenario would be for, like, if, say, Dusha goes to pee and then you go to pee too.
Yeah.
I'm just going to hold down the fort for 5 minutes by myself.
And,
5 minutes?
Wow, we're going for a while.
Yeah, you've both left.
Anyway, Fantastic Four.
I don't know. I really want to like it.
Yeah.
You know, I think I'm just like, you know, so horrendously burnt out on Marvel movies.
You guys are going to try leaving the podcast.
Dude, I do it all
It's
the time.
awesome out
It's
there.
the best, dude. But I think I'm just like,
It's weird
Thunderbolts.
though, because Thunderbolts kind of reinvigorated a little bit to be like, oh, actually, this one
Yeah,
was kind of good.
but I think
then it's like,
Thunderbolts-
I guess maybe it's the because the trailers don't like they neither excite me nor
Yeah.
unexcite me.
Here's
And then it's like the people being like, early like
Early reviews, it's
like,
fine.
yeah, it's fine. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I've seen so many bad and fine Marvel movies that I just
and there's movies like Roof Man out there now.
Yeah,
You could be
exactly,
watching
dude.
Roof Man.
I'll give you
Or
seeing what's
28
happening.
years later, The Bone Temple, a movie I don't believe you will see.
Really
Yeah.
got like a Roofman ultra focus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's like my most anticipated release of the year outside of Together, which I have already seen, but I'm
Yeah,
curious to see it again when it's actually finished now.
yeah, dude.
Yeah, I saw it when it was unfinished.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Pretty
yeah,
cool.
Roof Man. Look up Roof Man. You know Roof Man?
I'm aware of Roofman. I was here when you discovered Roofman.
Yeah.
No
I was present.
explanation.
to
You know
be like,
Roofman.
yeah,
For God's sakes.
Don't get confused with Pool Man, which is a dog shit movie.
I'm
Yeah.
not getting confused with
But
Pool
it is funny that Chris Pine made a movie. He's like, I'm going to direct a movie. And
Yeah.
everyone's like, wow, this is one of the worst
This
movies that's
stinks,
been
dude.
released not only this year, but this decade. And he
Yeah.
said, I'm going to go back to acting.
I
Even though
saw-
I was acting in Pool Man.
I saw a clip the other day of a movie.
Was it from Pool Man or Roof Man?
from neither? It was from Dog Man.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not the animated Dog Man. No, but because there's a movie that came out in like 2011 called Dog Man. I think it's 2011, and whenever it was, and it's about a boy that his dad traps him in the dog kennel, and he learns to love dogs and then commit crimes with dogs. That's the movie. And
That sounds traumatic. Anyway,
yeah.
go
It's
on.
like a pretty grim movie, but I just thought it's so funny that then they released Dog Man, the movie about a cartoon dog based on a comic book that exists within the Captain Underpants. I was just like, it'd be funny to imagine being
Getting
like, kids, I've got
confused.
Dog Man. Oh no. Oh no. That's such a funny thing to say. You're watching your kid get traumatized before you go, oh no, turn it off. Oh boy.
Dogman, the movie you're talking about, came out way after Dogman.
The animated movie.
Well, not the animated movie, but the animated
the concept.
book.
Yeah.
Because you said 2011.
Yeah.
The movie actually came out mid 2023.
Wow.
Well,
I was off, dude.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, you were saying earlier you don't know decades.
I don't
Yeah.
know decades. I don't know when shit's happening.
Dude, I would love to watch Pool Man, Roof Man, and Dog Man back to
What a
back.
trilogy, dude.
But I think I would have
the
to
man trilogy.
I wonder what would be watch a chronological order, which would go roof, pool, dog, dog, pool, roof.
Yeah. Well,
What would
Roofman's meant to be great. Right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't think it's actually come out anywhere yet.
Okay.
I'm just excited based on the team.
Yeah.
like the evolution of man.
Man
Dog.
starts as dog.
To go to dog needs to get wet. Pool.
Yeah.
Want to get high. Roof.
What do you
Yeah,
think man
but
invented first?
What? What
Well,
was
pool.
invented first?
Pool's natural. Roof made.
Nah, Pool's not
pool,
natural.
Man-made pool.
Yeah, but also
You
like
can have a pool of water. That
rock
is
pool?
natural.
You
Rock
can't have a
pool. You can't have a natural roof. You can.
You can.
Rock roof.
I can just sit under a big fern.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
okay, so
say
see,
it roof.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or if
you
like
would
a
say
cliff,
it's
but if a
roof.
cliff comes over, it can form a natural roof.
And I'd be like, yes, it roof.
but
Yeah.
don't they say natural ceiling?
I think they're interchangeable.
I
There's
don't
no
know.
natural dog though.
Wolf.
Did you say a natural dog?
There's no natural dog. All dogs
are natural.
Dude. We made dogs.
Well, there's wolf.
Yeah, wolf's not dog. That's wolf.
Yeah, but wolf
It's a
become
canine,
dog.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's all canine.
Yeah.
But dog is specifically dog.
Yeah.
We made dog.
We did make dog. Wolf didn't just become.
No, dog is unnatural.
Yeah. Good point. Dog
Wolf,
is unnatural.
sure, part of nature.
So I
dog,
guess it goes pool, roof, dog.
I would say so.
Yeah.
Dog is a descendant of the grey wolf.
Yes,
Yeah,
I know.
because we fucked it.
But we made
fucked
dog.
wolves?
We fucked wolves, dude. You seen a chihuahua?
We fucked
No, I
up.
know-
Chihuahua? Look at a wolf and be like, yeah, we fucked.
No,
We fucked up the wolf to make the dog.
I know
Yeah.
that we fucked up dogs, but I didn't realize that we fucked up
Oh, we
Yeah.
fucked
all
up.
dogs.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dog come from wolf, dude.
Mm.
Yeah, and
We're like,
so
oh,
dog
look at that!
unnatural.
Look at that wolf! Come here.
Yeah.
You want this bone or whatever? Have that.
Yeah.
Now you're sick. Oh, let's okay, that's a calm wolf. Let's breed that with the other
Dogs
calm
are
wolf.
older
Now we've
than
got a calmer
agriculture.
wolf.
Yeah.
And then it keeps going.
Dogs are old as
Yeah.
fuck, dude. They're man's first invention.
So
That's
with
not
this-
true, but they're
They're
one
man's
of the
first
first.
domesticated
So with your
animal.
Yeah.
idea of well, it's unnatural to have dog. Is corn unnatural?
Yeah.
This is fun.
Big time.
Well, I mean, yeah.
So like an apple we eat, unnatural.
Unnatural, dude.
We should be eating the
An
Cows?
apple, a human apple
yeah, a human apple terrible.
not to be confused with an Adam's apple.
is
No.
an invention, okay?
Yeah.
It's an invention
It's
of
an
man.
agriculture invention.
Everything at this point now is though.
Yeah,
Cows,
everything. Yeah.
Cows,
Cows
that's
are
it, yeah.
unnatural.
That's
Yeah,
an
cows are
invention.
massively unnatural, dude.
Horses.
Horses, big time
I
unnatural.
wonder what the proto horse was.
That
How
was-
much did we change the horse?
Good question. What did a
Yeah.
horse come from?
Yeah.
I think horse, whereas wolf became dog,
I get it.
horse became domesticated horse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
We
interesting.
got wild horses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Brumbies
And that song.
or stallions.
wild
or,
We've got wild dogs too, but
And you have wild dogs, too. And yeah, unfortunately, a wild dog will never become a wolf.
no, a wild dog just is sad and angry.
Why do when pig become go from being domesticated to then being in wild, it get hair bristly and almost
Yeah.
become boar-like? Why that?
well, isn't it? I remember making this.
Bugs
Could be.
could be bugs.
The world's greatest minds.
How do undomesticated pigs become boar-like?
Bugs. Could be bugs. Some
Have
kind
we
of
ever
beetle.
thought about bugs?
Some kind of beetle gets in there.
Maybe it's just outside too much.
Yeah.
But a domesticated pig's off the nuts.
But I think actually with pigs, is it, because I can't remember, is it that a pig, you take a pig, say John the pig,
Yeah.
and you send John the pig into the wilderness, John the pig grows tusks, get hairy, or John the pig and Jane the pig have babies and those babies go feral.
Well, no, I think maybe it's something, once again, you have told me, which
Yeah.
is cemented in my brain. I think it is you have John the pig, then John the pig goes off into the wild, and then
Yeah.
John the pig becomes John the bull.
Mm.
Or he gets his hair gets bristlier, gets maybe some tusks. But what causes that? Is the presence of human being I don't need no tusks.
Yeah.
Oh, I like this
Yeah, I
guy.
can live a
And then it's-
comfortable.
And a couple days ago, where's that guy I know? Oh, I'm getting angry. Oh, all these bugs on me.
I reckon it's two different species, and Jackson was wrong.
Mm,
Yeah, because it's not. If this was a real thing, I
Yeah.
reckon Jackson would be able to find an answer straight away.
Well, I can find. Wait. According to hoofboss.com.
Yes.
Okay, although the domestic pig as we know it took hundreds of years to breed, just a few months in the wild is enough to make a domestic pig turn feral. It will grow tusks, thick hair, and become more aggressive. Pigs also don't have sweat glands. Nice.
Ah.
Pig bodies are nearly identical to human bodies.
Does Hoofboss explain the tusks
No,
and thick hair?
that's just from an article called Fun Facts About Domestic Pigs.
How does
Posted by Donna
domesticated-
DeWolf.
Whoa.
Okay.
Okay.
If we're too nice to her, she's going to become Donna the dog.
Okay. Domesticated pigs. Thank you, AI overview.
Yeah.
Domesticated pigs can quickly revert to a wild state due to a combination of genetic and environmental factors.
Bugs.
Okay. Bugs.
Bugs?
That's the environment.
So escaping from captivity, even for a short period, can trigger changes in behavior
There you
So
go.
what happens?
Yeah, I don't
they're
know.
like, no roof.
Yeah.
Become feral.
Time to go tusk
I haven't
mode.
seen that guy in a while. Time to go.
Well, maybe
get
it's like, on the farm, a pig, he gets all the grain he wants. He doesn't have to fight for anything.
I guess so. They're there. It's to do with stealth genes. Because they can be activated by changes in the
How are
environment.
pigs able to grow tusks and become hairy within months of being released into the wild? Are there other animals who undergo a similar transformation? They don't. It's an old wives' tale.
What?
But hoof boss, dude.
Yeah.
It's here. It's now saying that the reason is because roof.
What?
For example, domestic pig might lack the thick coat of a wild boar because it's been sheltered and well fed, i.e., roof.
What the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
Here's my theory, is that we do something to stop the tusks growing. Like, it's not...
Incidentally?
Yeah, like, it's not...
Well, I guess it's where we're... If, again, I don't know who to believe now.
Yeah. What's true?
Because if it is environmental changes, the fact that you're caring for it ultimately stops it becoming feral, right? So then it's like, oh, okay. Well, then it's doesn't need to grow tusks, doesn't need to grow like thick fur, doesn't need to do all that kind of stuff because like, well, it's getting everything it needs.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's crazy that it could just turn on a dime.
Yeah.
I'm like, why that? Why not? Like, yeah, why not other other creatures?
Yeah, why is a dog? If you send a dog in, remember there was that. You'd hear about that sausage dog that got loose on an island.
Yeah,
he didn't go feral. He didn't get tusks or whatever.
Cool.
Yeah.
If they're like, first dog that grow tusks.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, there wasn't. Hey,
So
wasn't
domestic-
there a dog that had not tusks but like an underbite with like sort of protruding?
I know there's a dog with two noses.
Oh,
Awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Snake with three heads or whatever. Yeah, so most male pigs, like, it's not really a feral thing. It's more just like, okay, if you've got a pig, first of all, it usually does have that hair. It's just when we think of pigs, they don't.
Yeah. Okay.
And male pigs will just grow tusks.
Yeah.
Okay.
But most of the time we kill pigs before they get to that point, so people don't notice.
Oh, I see. That makes sense.
So basically, it doesn't really well, it does happen, but not at the rate that people, like Jackson's story has it happening.
Yeah.
It's not because they suddenly change. It's not like a fucking Pokemon evolving.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like it is, though.
Did you know that a so-called super pig is invading the prairie region of Canada? All our Canadian listeners should be worried. It's according to Popular Mechanics. So
I do know that
what
there
year-
are
when was that
crazy-
posted?
2023, dude.
Oh, dude.
The super pig is out there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. I
and it's
know,
coming
like,
to get you.
Boars are a problem.
Yes, dude. Big time.
Well, apparently, it's to do with it's genetics. It's a phenomenon. It's called I know it's not isn't going to like actually like pronounce this way.
Yeah.
But when you look at it, you're like, that's neat. It has the word pig in it.
Oh, that's fabulous.
But it's like if you were to say like, oh, it's epigenetics. But you're like,
but
oh
it'd be
no,
epigenetics.
it's epigenetics.
Yeah, that's a shame, dude. That's a shame.
But epigenetics is much better.
I much prefer that. Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
It's funny that like dogs, like it only worked on some animals. I think about that sometimes. You know,
Yeah.
if we'd picked something else.
Well,
Well, then,
didn't we try it with cats, and cats didn't really... I mean, people love to say cats aren't domesticated,
Well,
but
I
I feel
think
like they actually are.
No,
Yeah.
you've met a feral cat. You would know that yes, cats are domesticated.
we domesticated.
Oh
them,
well,
yeah.
it's like
Isn't it cats domesticated
themselves.
us? Is what people say.
Yeah, but
it's
that
like,
also
we
feels-
domesticated dogs and cats domesticated
Dogs
themselves.
domesticated
Yes.
cats. Yeah. Yeah.
I think there's some sort of, isn't there like some certain chimps, like a baboon or a mandrill, which are also domesticated
Yeah,
dogs?
yeah.
Which is, well, for their needs.
Yes, yeah. For they help
far
them hunt
more
or whatever.
nefarious.
Yeah, yeah, yes, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more like, we were like, oh, see that wolf? Come here with a bone. And then the cat was like, they got mice and
yeah,
shit.
I would like
And,
to eat their food.
Maybe they'll give me pat.
I guess the
That's it.
cat's domesticated the same way the pigeon is, really. No, that's not true. The same way, say, the seagull is, then. You know?
No.
Well, in that it started to live with humanity.
Yeah.
But it wasn't an active choice on our part.
Okay.
Like, you could
I
get
see
a
that.
seagull as a pet.
That's very funny. But the thing is, like, no one wanted that. So
well, yeah,
they just
they're
don't.
annoying.
I guess because they flock.
Yeah.
You can't just get one.
It is fucked up to have just one seagull. It's a lonely seagull. Yeah.
I think evidence points out that we, in fact, did domesticate
Yeah, well,
the cat.
yeah, I
But
imagine so.
it was like
Shocking.
all domesticated cats all come from one,
Yeah.
like, cat.
Yeah.
Like a big cat.
Yeah.
Felis catus.
Well, probably like the wild cat, right? Like the
No, but it's like one particular type of
Yeah, but
wild
that's what I
cat,
mean.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, that's like, I remember reading this really interesting article about how there were domesticated dogs in the Americas before colonization, and people were like, oh, that's interesting. Is that like a separate branch that evolved or was domesticated from the American wolf rather than the European wolf, which is what, and then they were like, oh no, it's all the European wolf, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
You know?
Fascinating stuff.
Yeah, dude.
Anyway, Fantastic Four. We excited?
Oh yeah, I just think that we know what. When I see a movie, I would love for it to not look like an asshole, derogatory, and also it to maybe surprise me or have some kind of.
Yeah.
I like watching movies that make me feel something, or alternatively,
Not getting that a lot
It's
from
tricky.
Marvel.
or alternatively look good.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But hard to do these days.
I just
don't know
don't-
if you're
The
going to see an
like-
MCU film that makes you feel something.
No.
The volume has ruined this. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
people talk
Oh,
about the volume is just like totally fucked Disney. Like,
Yeah.
as in all of their movies look like shit.
Yes,
now.
dude. It's crazy. It's crazy. Every movie, like, even though I love the stylization of the Fantastic Four's dimension,
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. But I hate that there's been no effort to marry the lighting and the the sort of like.
Well, the lighting for all of those movies is exactly.
Well,
the
that's what I
same
mean.
now.
I mean, if you're making a movie that's set in an alternate 60s sort of, you can give it like
Make
a
it look like
warmer-
fucking Batman Forever.
Yeah,
Or Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
Neon Gotham.
Well, I think that's just like, I don't know. I think it's just like it kind of feels flat and sort of hollow, and that's a bummer. I think every movie kind of looks like a commercial these days, and I'm like,
Yeah,
that fucking
I see
sucks,
what you mean.
dude.
I see what you mean.
Roofman's gonna look good though.
Except Roofman. Roofman's gonna look amazing.
But yeah,
Imagine
it's-
if Roofman looks like shit. I'll be so depressed.
Yeah,
I'll get
dude.
post Roofman
Man,
depression.
yeah. And I also think that there's this kind of thing that Marvel loves to do, and I feel like there's a chance that Fantastic Four will do it as well, where they love to set you up for it. They love to say that a movie is going to have a certain tone or vibe and then not deliver on that promise. Like they go, oh, it's got a 1960s feel, and then you watch the movie and you're like, all of that's just set dressing. They've actually not done anything to ensure that the kind of everything else marries the visual. It's like my biggest gripe with Quantumania is that they were like, it's Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. And I'm like, that sounds like it's going to be a crazy retro sci-fi bonanza.
Wrong.
And instead, it's just like Oz.
Yeah.
It's just like
he's
Oz
going into the
derogatory.
tiny realm, which is, well, because everyone's in the tiny realm, it just looks like he's in normal realm.
Yeah, you're like, oh.
Except it's all shot in the volume and looks terrible.
Yeah, you're like, okay, that sucks.
I just
Even-
double checked. Roofman looks good.
A few, dude.
Yeah.
Even, and I think this movie is pretty good ultimately because it's got some Sam Raimi styling in it, where they go multiverse of madness. I'm like, whoa, shit's gonna be crazy, and then not really. Like, a bit, but like,
But you really wanted to go like full on, like, crazy bananas.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, you can't. And I've just Fantastic Four. It's kind of got the same vibe. They go, it's gonna be retro futuristic, and then it might just be a normal movie.
Who's it directed by?
And I'm like, that's disappointing.
no one, but who's
Yeah.
who's slapped
I've-
their name on this?
yeah.
Is it John Watts?
I don't know.
maybe?
Yeah.
I'm curious. Yeah, I'm curious as well to see, like, I want to like judge this movie on how tired Sue and Reed are going to be after the birth of Franklin.
Yes, true.
It doesn't look very tired.
It's like,
Yeah.
I was looking at that, being like, they don't look as tired as they should be.
Oh, it's Matt Shackman.
He can stretch. Would that help with Baby?
Maybe.
Going invisible, would that help with Baby?
Definitely. Baby can't see you. Goodbye, baby.
You're the adult now, baby.
Mom and Dad are going for good.
Okay. It's
Peekaboo, where'd I go?
Where'd I go?
Just run.
baby.
Baby can figure it out on their
I guess
own.
I got Herbie.
Yeah, Herbie.
Yeah,
Like,
Baby.
maybe Reed builds like a baby bot.
Yes.
That'll figure it out.
He's fucking
He seems
smart
like he's
enough.
got like the resources.
Yeah.
So
He doesn't need sleep.
it's directed by Matt Shackman. That's the WandaVision guy who also has made one movie prior to this called Cut Bank.
Oh, yeah.
Cool name.
It stars Liam Hemsworth, Teresa Palmer.
Oh, yeah.
Well done to Cut Bank. It's an A24 movie. What the
hubba,
fuck?
hubba.
Anyway, yeah, I think they need to stop. Like, let directors direct the movie. I
Yeah.
think that could help the MCU a little bit.
Absolutely.
And I know that
I know-
last time they did that, they got Eternals.
But we love Eternals.
Yeah.
It looks good.
It looks good. It's weird.
A kid gets killed with a rock.
Yeah, a dog becomes a man.
Yeah.
Exciting stuff happens in the Eternals.
Exactly.
I just think that no MCU movie really has a visual identity.
Yeah.
And I think that like even audiences can tell.
Matt Shakman directed 43 episodes of It's Always Sunny. Do you want the MCU movies to look like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
If they looked like the early seasons before they went to HD, that'd be awesome.
2007 to 2017 is when he directed.
Oh, well, then I think he did. Yeah. That'd be great. If they had that nasty lo-fi, It's Always Sunny energy,
Like, I think that's
at least a visual identity.
It's a weird thing when you're borrowing or you're using comic books as your base, and you're not like using, say, like a particular run or a particular, like, say, a creator owned series and all that kind of stuff, like Image and all that kind of stuff. It's just like, okay, this is one thing that's like by this one person. It's all there. Your borrowing or your inspiration is the Marvel universe or like Marvel comics or DC comics, where you're like, oh, cool, there is so much bullshit there.
Yeah.
And the appeal of like all those comic books is often it's like the art direction and the writing or the particular arc, and it's all very different.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like the most recent She-Hulk comic series is like, I'm getting something out of that I'm not going to get out of like an X-Men run.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're like, oh, for the She-Hulk stuff, I'm getting like, it's lawyer mixed with a bit of romance, mixed with a bit of comedy. For like, it's the X-Men, depending on which era, depending on what run, you're like, oh, am I getting like some weird genetic future, everything's fucked, I'm going to save the world kind of shit. And that's the kind of like, the difference here of like, you have different stylized art as well. So you're like, oh, sick. This particular artist is so much different to that particular artist, so much different to that particular artist. They all have their own like sort of flair to it all. And when you have the movies, and the thing is, they never really wanted to do individual movies. It's like, and that's again, well done them for being one of the only companies that could have pulled it off.
They managed to do it,
And you're like, we have this particular style, if we have this particular idea, and then it's like, sure, maybe it wasn't initially like the roadmap was there, but like they did the best they could, and they given like, oh, hey, we're hitting something here and it's working. So they did that. But then it's like, as it's gotten bigger, same problems as like all the bullshit with comics. As it's gotten bigger, you're like, well, the audience don't necessarily want to see everything. They don't really want to go see every single bit of this property, which is like something that I think maybe the executives or maybe the people who are in charge kind of forgot. But then they were like, oh, wait, no, hang on a second. No one's watching this. We have to make it up. And it feels like such a lost opportunity to do, hey, director, cinematographer, you have a certain style and a certain voice, and you have a certain, like, what you do with imagery. Let's use that, and you can have this property. Yeah. And like, hey, here's some overarching stuff, like here's some notes to be like, hey, you just can't do this, you can't do that, whatever.
Like what
Instead
they did
of like
with fucking James Gunn and Guardians.
Yeah.
Instead of like, no, you need to include this one scene, you need to include this, that has to be cut because they're going to, and it's like, it just feels like too much.
Yeah.
Like,
I guess the moment any one of the
breathe.
movies made $1 billion, that was probably the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
Because exec brain is like, well, do that again.
Just do it again. Just do it again.
And then every
Just
movie's
do
an
it again.
attempt to make $1 billion.
And like, it's that thing of like escalation.
Yeah.
Just everything feels like it needs to be escalated. Everything feels like you got to throw more money at it. Everything feels like it needs to be bigger and better. And you're like, slow down.
Yeah.
Like,
relax.
again, I know maybe I'm in the
best
before, but
possible thing that would be so funny for the movies is if Superman and Fantastic Four both make less than $500 million worldwide.
That would be awesome, dude.
Wow.
I hope both movies are phenomenal, and I hope no one sees them. Because then studios have to go back to the drawing board, and we might finally be free from whatever is happening. Where they're like, okay, because it doesn't even necessarily mean the death of superhero movies. It just means like, okay, we can't just throw $250
we need
million
to change our philosophy here a little bit.
It's like, if we're going to do this, we're going to, play it smarter, do something interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why did this not work? It should have worked. All of our fucking things are saying this is a home run.
Yeah.
Let Jurassic fucking World make $4 billion worldwide.
Probably will. All of the
Really?
Jurassic World movies go fucking gangbusters.
Although, so did the Transformers movies, and now they all tank.
Yeah, that's true.
Because all it takes is for one of them
Yeah.
to be stinky, but make heaps of money, which the last Jurassic World did. This one also mightn't do well.
Yeah, that's true. Also, Michael Bay's coming back for the Transformers, I saw.
Yeah, he shouldn't do that.
He's making the Skibbity Toilet movie. That's what he should
No,
be
he's
doing.
not.
He's just producing it,
Fuck,
maybe.
dude.
Yeah,
he left
dude.
to probably do Transformers.
Probably.
No, he was never signed on to do Scooby.
Probably.
Oh, okay.
That was misinformation that we
That's sad, dude.
Maybe spread or got confused by.
I hope we did spread it.
He should make Pain and Gain too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's that kind of like, I don't know, every MCU film prior has been like, oh, this is going to be this genre, or it's going to be this genre, or it's going to be like this.
Yeah.
But never is.
No, it's not.
Always
It's
always
because that's
just-
the marketing. It's the same way I think the MCU does its politics.
Yeah,
They say
yeah.
this movie is a political movie. No, it's not. It's not a political movie at all. And if you Brave New World, you know, that the way they set that up, that's a political thriller. But if you engage with that movie as political, it's insane.
Yeah.
If you engage with that movie as a piece of political media, it's the most deranged thing you've ever seen in your life. You can't interpret the movie because they
Winter
don't.
Soldier is the closest they've done to like any kind of political thriller.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And even that, I would argue, is probably, if you engaged with it as a political thriller, would be weird.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a super soldier in the middle of it.
Yeah.
But like
No, but I agree. I think
the
of all
first
of the
two Captain America movies at least have a little bit of like,
Captain
the
America
government's
1,
lying.
it's a
to
war
you.
movie.
Yeah.
And it is a war movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's huge.
Yeah.
And even Thor 1, like in the beginning, Thor 1's kind of a fantasy, you know?
Well, I think they were saying it's like a modern Shakespeare.
Yeah,
Well,
sure.
I mean, we know my takes on Thor 1. It's a piece of shit.
Yes. That is fair.
That's the beginning of the end for me.
yeah, fair enough. Like you look at see some of the like the little side projects that they've done with the MCU, and it's not been a full-fledged movie.
Yeah.
I was just like with Thor being reminded of Thor's roommate, and it was all shot on like camera and it's a bit of a comedy haha kind of stuff. And you're like, yeah, but not many people have seen those type of things because like either a short or whatever. And it's like you could do shit like that. And if you didn't want to spend, so many, $1 million on like your secret invasion and be like, oh, hey, we have learned a lesson.
Absolutely, yeah.
You need a showrunner.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Well, I think that...
But like you could have done like, oh, why don't you do like, hey, something like that? Or like, oh, hey, we've got the property of like, I don't know, fucking New Warriors or like like the Young Mutants or whatever. And you're like, hey, we're just gonna do like a share house comedy. Back in like I think it was like the mid 2000s where it was like the werewolf vampire, all those things. Like we're doing a roommates and it was like monsters, but they're all roommates kind of stuff. It's just like have fun with it, but it seems no one's having fun with it.
I also
including
do
the
think
audience.
that if I was sitting here doing this podcast and I had just had to sit down and watch a trailer about 4 superheroes that are roommates in 2025, I would be sitting here with a gun in my mouth.
Well, that's what I mean.
Oh,
Because
sweet, 2014's back.
Well, that's what I mean, though. It's like we've had this bullshit decade. We've had like this build up there, but if they had done it throughout,
I'm gonna put the blame on one man.
Okay.
Notorious sex offender Joss Whedon.
Yeah.
Because he sent this in like a bad direction. Like it was successful and he did it, but he sent it in this fucking direction.
Yeah.
And then like this is all just like chasing a tail, trying to get back to that, but you can't make things like that anymore. It's like did you fucking just see that fucking cunt?
Did that just happen?
Yeah.
Did I do
that? Yeah, behind we are there.
Well, I think it's funny that
Can we get a close up of some feet?
Yeah.
Be awesome for him to do that at court when he's
Can we
going
just
to
please?
jail for his crimes. Did I do that? Yes, Joss Whedon, you did.
You pervert.
You made your workplaces horrible.
Yeah.
Because you're a sack of shit.
Yeah, just like if we can get as close up some titties.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that good?
Is that good for the
everybody?
movie?
That's
Put
for
your hand on her
feminism.
titties? Can you put your hand on her titties? Can we make a show?
I made Buffy.
Can we get
Okay.
like that we get that
Everyone
skirt
loves
shorter?
Buffy. Moo?
Yeah.
When I'm uncomfortable, I need to go to the toilet. Anyway, I'm going to go to the toilet.
Yeah. Anyway,
I killed the boy.
I killed the boy. Anyway, can I get some closer with some feet? Can we get some feet in here? Feet shot.
God, I
Feet
hate
shot.
Joss Whedon.
Yeah, me
God,
too.
he sucks.
I think it is funny that the MCU properties, though, that are the most interesting do tend to be the TV shows because presumably, at least in the beginning, there was just less like oversight on what they could make.
Or it's just kind of like, hey, here's this, and then they get a little bit of oversight or whatever. They're like,
I mean, they
ram through.
all of them have bad endings, I would say, but still.
I think that when it comes to TV, the only strength that they have is that it lets the actors, like, if you like, so like Haley Steinfeld, good actor. So Hawkeye, good to watch.
Yeah.
Because you get a lot of her acting. Thunderbolts and Black Widow as movies are pretty good because, at least I think they're pretty good, because even though it falls down in every other area, like looking like shit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Florence Pugh is a good actor.
Yeah, she's a delight.
There's like
to watch.
energy on screen.
Yeah.
And yeah, like the TV shows, you get more of that. Like again, like fucking WandaVision, you've got Elizabeth Olsen and
Paul Bettany,
who are very good actors.
I think as well, just like so, like if
Paul
I think
Bettany should have done more in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, by the way.
Yes,
but that's
he
okay.
should've. Yeah,
People
that's
don't talk about his involvement, which is, look, I know this is I'm stepping on a landmine by bringing up this court case. And I'm not going to weigh in on the actual court case, but the fact that there's text messages. There's like Johnny.
They are pretty crazy when Johnny Depp's like, I should kill my wife. And Paul Bettany's like, yeah.
Paul Bettany's texting back being like, haha, yeah.
Yeah, is it like, haha, yeah, we all get a little mad sometimes,
No,
over-exaggerate.
it's like
or
Johnny
is it
Depp's
like, yeah, your wife sucks.
No.
Take a brick.
No. It's like a third option where it seems like he's not even like reading the text. He's like, haha, yeah.
That's very...
Or like, just like replying to something that you don't care about with like a lol.
Yeah.
That's the energy Paul Bettany's bringing to these texts.
So like in court, like Paul, Mr. Bettany. So as you can see, Johnny Depp, on the third of whatever, texted you this, and you replied with, "Yeah, man, sounds good." And Paul Harford, but looking at that, he said what? Yeah. Oh no!
It's pretty crazy.
Oh wait, no. He does.
He wasn't my friend. Or is it? He's actually like.
What does he say? So.
Mr. Depp responded to questions about a 2013 text exchange with British actor Paul Bettany.
Yeah, so Johnny Depp says, let's burn Amber. Awesome stuff. Then Paul Bettany says, having thought it through, I don't think we should burn Amber. She's delightful company and easy on the eye. Plus, I'm not sure she's a witch. We could, of course, try the English course of action in these predicaments. We do the drowning test. Thoughts? And B, I have a pool. And then Johnny Depp responds, let's drown her before we burn her. And then it gets worse than that.
Is this
and
like...
then Paul Bettany says, my thoughts entirely, let's be certain before we pronounce her a witch.
Is this like a, once again, no dog in
all
this
celebrities
fight.
are bad, I
Yeah,
guess.
100%.
Wow, Johnny Depp had awesome defense with this, though.
Yeah.
Because this is obviously, this comes up in the court case.
Yeah.
Hey. It's actually Monty Python's fault. I was just referencing Monty Python.
Yeah, right.
Oh, it was a Monty Python joke. Oh, well, of course.
Yeah.
Of course,
she's a
Johnny
witch.
Depp.
Burn her.
Yeah.
But like, it could, for example, like if it's over text, and again, maybe Paul Bettany's like not realizing how furious and angry.
Yeah, I suppose maybe if he doesn't think,
yeah,
and then
it's like the classic 90s stand-up. Hi, I'm married and my wife's a cunt. That classic, and like, yes, I understand.
No, this is
then it's
with one of Johnny Depp's responses that I didn't read out loud. I think Paul Bettany should have realized. If he didn't realize, if he thought it was all fun and games, then he has a fucked up friend.
And
then
Johnny Depp,
reading that, you're like,
Johnny Depp just says it's a direct reference to the Monty Python sketch about burning and drowning witches. This is a film we'd all watch when we were 10. It's just irreverent and abstract humor, Your Honor.
I'm just lol random.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
Anyway, we should put a lot of people in a big hole and then fill that hole up with dirt.
Maybe we
John Cleese as well. Get in the hole, John Cleese.
Oh my god. But I do love
we shouldn't be paying actors like as much as we do.
Yeah, dude,
maybe we shouldn't be paying actors. Defund the arts. Baseless speculation says defund the arts.
Well, how instead of maybe just spread the wealth a bit.
Yeah.
Maybe don't give crazy people all this money.
Maybe it gives them an inflated ego.
Yeah,
I think, with John Cleese, who stinks and is a piece of shit, I do get some joy out of. Did you ever see the roast of John Cleese?
Why didn't he iron his shirt?
I don't know. But it was a thing done on like Channel 9 here in Australia where John Cleese gets roasted by our greatest comedians like Limo. Like just real, like John Cleese doesn't know who these people are. And their roasts are just like, you're British. And I just think John Cleese has got to hate every set. Like when he's on stage there, fake laughing at their jokes, he's got to truly hate himself in that moment. It's like a humiliation ritual. That's what it feels like.
It could just be like, he just goes into that sort of John Cleese-shaped hole in his head and just like it opens up to the amount of money Channel 9 presumably paid him.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, okay.
He's like, you know what? I'll let Limo make some real milk toast.
Who's this guy?
Roast at me. Yeah, sure. Australia's greatest comedian, Limo.
Never heard of this guy before in my life. Don't care. Getting paid.
All right, so we've got Shane Jacobson as the MC.
Kenny?
The roast master. Yeah, Kenny himself.
And then he did Top Gear Australia?
Briefly.
Yeah, probably.
And then that's all.
Joel Creasy.
Yeah.
He's a comedian.
Yeah. He used to host the Eurovision.
Tom Gleeson?
Tom Gleeson?
Oh, yeah.
He's on TV.
He's a good sort.
Yeah, he's a good sort.
Maybe.
Yeah, I like him.
Lawrence
Hard
Mooney?
Quiz.
Yeah.
Lawrence Mooney. I've heard stories.
Damien Power, who has been on Plumbing the Death
Oh,
Star.
Damien, come back on and tell us about John Cleese.
Yeah.
It's just pretty grim, and I just think it's really funny. And John Cleese looked like he was about to die.
Hey, here's some of the writers on the roast of John Cleese.
Yeah.
Beck Petratus.
Whoa! Back, come on the podcast.
Andy Matthews.
Whoa!
Alistair Tremblay Birchall.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Did they get to meet? Did you get to meet John Cleese? Please let us know.
Well, it's just like if you're John Cleese and you're getting roasted by people that are friends with this podcast.
Yeah. I just think, you must in some way be like,
message JTB, see if you got to meet John Cleese.
Yeah.
Did you get to meet John Cleese when you wrote the roast of John Cleese?
Like he did Faulty Towers. He was Monty Python. And
He was Monty Python.
Now here he is. I think it's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
It's so funny that he says you couldn't make Faulty Towers today.
Yeah.
Is that because there's a French man and the joke is that he's foreign? Is that what he's saying?
Isn't it Manuel Spanish?
Oh, maybe he's Spanish. I thought he was French. Or maybe he's Spanish. Manuel! Then he hits him with a pan.
Yeah. And then he probably turns around and grabs a woman's buttocks.
Yes, dude. It was
my.
Fuck, dude, comedy was easy back in the day. You know? You make fun of a foreigner, you grow up a woman, $1 million
Faulty
billion
Towers is just Frasier for idiots.
He's right. He's fucking right.
God, Niles.
Good God, Manuel! I'm not very good at running this establishment. Yeah, you're right, dude. That's fucking crazy. Have we got any swings for the fences for Fantastic Four?
Yeah, right. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, we're gonna see like an even older version of Franklin Richards. Why not?
Sure. Yeah, adult Franklin.
Yeah. Maybe not adult, but like
teen?
sort of like either
Like what he is in
teen or
the
like
comics, because he's
younger
usually like
child.
10 in the comics.
He's,
right?
yeah, he's like 10. I know when he gets like, oh, fuck, okay, swing for the fence.
Yeah.
We're going to get a Psy-Lord reference,
Whoa.
i.e. adult Franklin Richards, who is like Galactus is my motherfucking herald.
I think that we're going to get another. I think they're going to continue the trend that we got with Thunderbolts, and we're going to get a post-credit scene for this movie that is relatively unrelated to the events of Fantastic Four. Like, it'll be them walking into fucking the Avengers Tower and meeting.
Yeah.
Well,
Just
if you
randomly meeting a cunt.
yeah.
Like it's like reverse of the exact same thing we
Sort
got
of?
from back then. No, but like an actual like full-on reverse.
Oh, yeah.
As in like, wait a second,
Who's that tower?
some tower is seeing us.
We're getting picked up by some tower.
Well, I think because the Thunderbolts post-credit scene was filmed on set
yeah.
for
Doomsday.
And it wasn't filmed. It was like literally by Kevin Feige, whoever.
I don't think it was
Not
Kevin
Feige.
Feige.
Whoever's making
The
Doomsday.
Russos?
The Russos, yeah. So I suspect that it'll be on maybe the same set. Like I don't think it'll be terribly elaborate.
Yeah.
It'll always be like the camera would just pan across and
Yeah.
the FF are there.
Absolutely. I think my swing for the fences is that they're going to go full bananas and Franklin Richards is Galactus. Why not? Fuck it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, here's to piss off some level of internet. It's their first child is Valerie.
Oh, yes, true. And
That would be
Galactus
sick.
is also a girl.
Yeah.
Girl
Galactus, dude.
Yeah.
And she says, if you watch this movie, you're gay.
And that's good.
And that's awesome. What do you think about that, audience?
Yeah.
That would be awesome, dude.
I'm not going to rest. It's me, Galactus. I'm going to rest until the whole universe is gay, and that's actually not a bad thing.
Yeah. Marvel movies got awesome, dude.
Silver Surfer's like, it's normal to be gay.
Yep.
She lands, "Boo. Who are you? It's normal to be gay.
Yeah.
It's normally gay. In fact, it's great.
It's
And
actually
then-
cool.
10,000 YouTube channels just
YouTube
simultaneously-
shuts down because there's too much traffic so quickly. It's so funny because it's so explicit. What could your title for that YouTube video even be? Marvel goes crazy.
Woke mind virus real now?
Yeah, like they actually.
Okay, but maybe how about this? We'll muddy the waters a bit.
Yeah.
Silver Surfer, she lands, she clicks her fingers, but then she's like dressed like Chad wife. Like,
Whoa.
like traditional, just like completely just,
Yeah.
in your beautiful
She
trad
says
wife
it's okay
gear.
to be gay,
And
but
like,
don't show any
yeah.
skin.
It's okay to be gay. Being gay is great. Don't show skin.
Yeah.
Cook for your hot wife.
Mormonism is the true religion. The Marvel movies have become confusing, and I'm excited.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the bsboyspod@gmail.com inbox and see what the people have to say.
What are the people clamoring
What are the people
to yell at us?
yammering
I'd
about?
just like to take this time to thank the 2 subscribers to Dusha Plus.
Whoa!
Plus!
That's so exciting.
One
so
person
exciting.
donated 100 Thai
But
baht, which works out to roughly $4 Australian.
No,
And
Nice.
another person subscribed for, it was 5 something, which worked out to less than $5 Australian.
hey,
Nice,
you're nearly
nice.
at $10.
Hey, dude. Dusha Plus is like, hey, look, and those people, they're going to get some exclusive Dusha Plus content.
Yeah, exactly,
i.e.,
dude.
Just what happened?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
a
you
shout
go.
out.
That's your content. The shout out, dude.
Yeah, I guess it was exclusive.
Well, no,
You're
it
all
is.
hearing it.
Yeah.
Did you say their names?
No.
I wasn't paying that much attention.
Sorry, it was $5 US was the second
Oh,
one.
damn,
Which is
dude.
like 650 Australian
Yes,
dollars. I'm rich
you're
in
rich
Australia
now.
You want to do
now.
a shout out? The names
Well,
attached to the people who signed up for
I would
Dusha
love
Plus?
to, but I'm actually going to do the opposite because it's their PayPal account name. So I don't know if that's doxing. So
Yeah.
I'm going to choose not to dox you.
You're welcome. That's just the
subscribers.
kind of thing you get when you subscribe to
If
Dusha
you
Plus.
subscribe to Dusha Plus today, you will not get a shout out.
Yeah.
That's our promise.
That's
You're gonna,
that's
you're gonna
Dusha's
make
promise
me-
to you.
You're going to make me so happy. And yes, if you don't remember what we're talking about because it was like 3 episodes ago now, all simple. You want to sign up to exclusive content that means that I can afford to walking around money, maybe.
For groceries.
Yeah, for
maybe
groceries.
a Coke.
Get a haircut. God, I need a haircut.
Buy some pants or whatever.
Oh,
Oh, you got pants
I got
recently.
pants, but God, that was a.
ordeal.
I bought. The only reason I got pants though is they were 70% off.
Oh,
Nice.
beautiful,
Cheap
dude.
pants.
That's good. That's
cheap
cheap ass
Yeah,
pants, brother.
Dude, it was cheap as fuck.
That's
pants.
fucking awesome.
Anyway, you need to head to twitch.tv/Dusha Forever. And then you're going to need, there's a donate button.
Yeah.
You're going to click that. It's going to take you to a PayPal donation.
Yeah, you say how much you want to donate. You say $100.
Australian dollars. And then congratulations, that one-time payment subscribes you to Dusha Plus, where I will see the email from PayPal and I will say, I'm not going to say this person's name because what if
Yeah.
they don't want that out there?
That's pretty good.
And, yeah, and if you want to make that a monthly subscription,
You just need
all
to do
gotta
that every
You
month.
just got to go to your phone
Yeah.
and set up monthly reminder
Yeah.
Dusha Plus, and then you got to
Yes.
manually go there to what was that?
.tv.
/Dusha Forever.
Well, there you go. I mean, think about it like this, dear listener. How many streaming services are you signed up to you don't use? Okay?
Yeah. This is one you can't use.
Exactly, dude. Exactly.
You just
That's
get the
bang for fucking buck.
You just get the satisfaction of knowing that you've given me money and I'm going to use that money to probably
Exactly.
pay for rent or groceries.
Yeah. Like, can you see me a quick looking at your phone and just kind of like a nice like a smile, not like a huge smile, but it's like a
Oh, okay, hang on.
yeah.
Oh, now
So
that's...
if you go to our YouTube channel, and I think it's like if you search for Plumbing the Death Star,
Yeah,
and
on
this
YouTube, yeah.
episode of Base Speculation, you can see what the effect that you will do.
Yeah.
Well, I can do a recreation of exactly what happened when I got my
let's-
first 100 baht. My first subscriber
Let's
to
see.
Dusha
Yeah.
Plus.
Let's see.
So I pulled out my phone
Yeah.
and I was like, they did it. And then I opened up an app
Yeah.
and then I messaged the boys being like, got my first subscriber to Dusha Plus.
Imagine the change. You know, all it takes is one donation of $100.
And then you know that we are talking about you in our private lives.
Exactly. You know, you want to elevate yourself. You want to elevate our opinion of you.
Just a simple $100
a simple $100
donation.
to Dusha Plus. It's just
And
that
I cannot
easy.
stress enough, you will get nothing in
Yeah.
return through
Yeah.
Twitch.
Yeah, you get absolutely nothing.
Just
You don't even get a shout out on the show.
Well, because I don't know if you want to shout
yeah,
out.
exactly.
You can
exactly.
message me and say you sent me $100,
Yeah,
and I'll be
yeah.
like, "That's awesome." I'll reply to that.
That's huge.
Unless you haven't actually sent me $100, and then I will not reply.
Can you, when you sign up to Dusha Plus, if you sign up, could you have it? Can you sign up with a message?
Oh yeah, that would be great.
Because if you can, you could be like, please don't shout out my name.
Yeah, don't ever say my name on the podcast.
You know what? I reckon you probably can do a message. The only thing is it'll be through my Twitch account.
Yeah.
So
you have to check that, I guess.
I don't know how to check it if I'm not live.
There you go, listeners.
So there's a potential.
Yeah.
If you want a shout out, you could get a shout out.
You could theoretically
maybe,
hypothetically get a shout out.
We think.
Which
but
could
we
be
don't
huge.
know yet.
But we don't know.
I might be able to log into a computer and have a look.
Yeah.
See my stream activity.
Yeah. So?
But at the moment, the 2 people that donated, did I get a message? No.
Okay, well.
But I'm not shouting you out because I don't know if you want that.
Exactly.
So,
Sign up today. Okay.
Twitch.tv. Yep.
Dusha Forever.
Yep.
Donate $100.
Yeah.
With the message, if you can, don't shout me out.
Yeah, or you can message me.
I want to be a silent hero.
You can message me on social media and say, I donated $100 and I will reply if you have.
Yeah.
That's pretty big.
Exactly. Silent investors.
Don't message me on Twitter. I don't have it on my phone because it locked me out of my Twitter account and it's just a terrible website that was not worth fighting to get back on.
True, dude.
Instagram. But you have to send me $100. Anyway, what have these emails said?
So this is from Alex. Dear BS Boys, goatee mode attached to big swings for the fence would be very good. But also, please consider making Jackson actually eat and finish an entire jar of pickles as his penalty for failure. This might be the only way it's ever going to happen. Alternatively, it could be one of the reward tiers for donating or subscribing to Dusha Plus. We probably can't raise a few million to Dusha to eat shit, but $100 to make Jackson eat a jar of pickles is something half the audience might cough up at this point to make it finally happen. Love the podcast despite the brain damage, Alex.
I do love that in this, it's just like the reward is Dusha gets $100.
Jackson
Jackson
loves pickled onions.
And eats pickled onions.
Yes,
He famously is a pickled onion guy.
Well, I think I've come to accept that I'm not, you know.
Well, actually, that's a jar
of
of pickles, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Don't you love pickles?
We've had this discussion.
You could be a pickle guy.
I like pickles, but I'm not.
love
I don't think I can be a pickle guy. Which
But after eating a whole jar in one sitting, you could be.
Maybe if someone sends me $100, I'll use that to buy you a liter of milk, which you can consume.
I'll drink on the pod.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome that I think it's very kind that when we had the pickle discussion and you were saying I'm not a pickle guy, that somebody in our Discord, I forget who, I'm sorry, was like, I don't like when they bully Jackson. And that's very kind. I mean, obviously, it's fine. But I think it's so funny that the thing, they were like, they're being so mean to him about how he won't eat a jar of pickles. They're bullying him because he won't eat a jar of pickles. Poor defenseless Jackson. That's really funny. Okay, next email. This is from longtime listener Marley. Hi, BS Boys. In the spirit of the emailer last week who attempted to figure out the origins of Jackson's infamous Five Nights at Freddy's songs, I would like to throw my hat into the ring by letting you boys know that the song Jackson kept singing in the Skibbity Toilet episode seems to be a misremembering of Skibbity Biden from an episode of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Then they have a link to Skibbity Biden.
Okay, so there is absolutely no chance you've seen that clip.
Can you please click that link and play that loud?
Okay.
But don't skip the ad.
Skibbity Biden, skibbity Biden, skibbity Biden, skibbity.
Actually, you know what? Yeah.
Skibbity. Yeah. That's very close to what you were singing, dude.
Yeah, I was singing Skibbity Biden. Skibbity Biden. Skibbity Biden.
Nope. See, you.
Yeah, it's not quite. It's not quite the same.
Yeah.
But I appreciate your attempt, Molly.
Yeah, I reckon it's close, but not quite.
Yeah,
not quite.
They then go on to say, P.S. No one cares about this, but it's bugged me for months. In the Plumbing the Death Star about getting abducted by an alien, Jackson talked about a scene that he remembered from Doctor Who, where the Doctor's TARDIS lands on an ood, and then he makes a quip about it. He was 100% right. It happens in episode 4 of season 6, The Doctor's Wife.
Okay.
There you go.
Were we saying that doesn't happen?
I don't know.
Must have.
I know that you had a pitch for a show called Johnny Ood, where it was an Ood wearing a cowboy hat.
That's fucking awesome to picture, dude.
Yeah.
Imagine an Ood with a gun. That's awesome.
You thinking like an Ood with a cowboy hat, some holsters?
Yeah, dude.
Riding a horse?
In one hand, he has to hold his brain, and in the other, a 6-shooter.
I remember that scene from Doctor Who, because isn't that also the same scene? You're not going to... You know what? It doesn't matter, because no one in this room is going to remember what I remember.
Yeah.
If this is the same episode, but it's Matt Smith being like, it's
dude.
always an Ood.
Yeah, I think it is.
bro.
I think it is that scene. And
Molly,
then finally...
let us know. Molly, let us know.
Okay, yeah. Finally, this person doesn't sign off, from Anonymous. Hello, BS boys. I can't believe the Jurassic World episode is your first run-in with the artist known as Seed Feeder. I would have thought that at least famous pervert Jackson Bailey would be familiar with the extremely explicit, albeit sterile and unsettling work of Wikipedia's most prolific sexual artist. Now, this is, if you remember, the tribbing monster from the episode where we learned about tribbing. This link is his dedicated Wikimedia category. It's 57 pictures of Uncanny Valley cartoon humans engaged in various sexual acts. Don't say I didn't warn you.
Wow.
Let's click on that.
There you go. Have a good time.
Goodness me.
It's nice to know that this person has found their calling in life.
Yeah. Well, drawing technically educational images of different sex positions. It's basically just the new it's Kama Sutra 2.
Yeah, pretty much. Dude, well, this is crazy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
This is a lot to take in.
You have any good... Well, you the look on your face is you're taking it in.
Yeah.
Is it all,
are you sure it's a lot to take in? It just seems like it's exciting to take into you.
Monster-like?
No, I mean, some of them are just kind of people, you know,
having sex.
Are they...
Cool thing to do.
Are they all the same...
No, oh, yeah, it's all the same art style.
No, I was going to say the same, like, just, like... This is the woman that he's used. This is the man.
No, different women, different men.
Oh, that's nice. He has some variety.
There's like a real sometimes. So I'm looking at the one for, I don't know, Gokun, which I think is just drinking cum from a cup. The woman is blissing out. Let me tell you, she's having the time of her life. Everybody seems like mildly pleased in these, which I think is a funny sort of like emotional state to be in.
Well, that's
during lovemaking.
Nice.
Yeah, cool. Good stuff. Thank you, everybody who emailed in. Once again, that's bsboyspod@gmail.com.
Yeah.
You know, if you've got any thoughts or opinions about the things we talk about in the episode.
You want us to see any cool things?
Yeah. If you got a cool thing you want us to look at?
Yeah, you want to see us to like, hey, I've discovered this horrible thing that you've only just touched the surface of.
Hey, have a peek,
here's a deep dive. And we go, oh, yuck. Yay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Thank you.
We love that shit.
And it's cool. Like some people sent me money.
Yeah.
People sent you perverted images.
Yeah.
We're all winners here.
Exactly.
Zamet didn't have to see those images.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, we are truly winners.
Yeah. Everybody lucked out.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, I've been Jackson Bailey.
I've been Joel Zamet.
And I've also been Joe, I think.
You think?
And I've been Joel Douche. I don't remember how I signed off. Anyway.
Usually you go first.
The sign-off has it's deteriorating.
Yeah.
That was another episode of
Like
Baseless
the intro.
Speculation,
Yeah.
and we've been the BS boys.
Hey, Fantastic Four!
Yeah. God, I hope it's better than 3.5 out of 5, but it's not gonna be.
No.
But I hope it's no worse than 2.5 would also be at least exciting,
Yeah.
but that's also not gonna happen.
No.
Anyway, the episode's over. No one's listening to this. Goodbye.